Right now on WHS 11 News at 6, public appearances by the candidates are ramping up in the race for Louisville mayor, with the election now less than 2 months away. And it's our top story tonight here at 6. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Today, Democrat candidate Craig Greenberg announced his day one priorities if he's elected, and he added a new element to his public safety plan. Isaiah Kim Martinez covered the news conference in Butchertown with how Greenberg would make all this happen. Isaiah?
Well, Doug, Greenberg is putting a heavy focus on cracking down on illegal guns today, proposing a policy that would alter how confiscated weapons are handled, at least to some degree. 7 months ago, to the day, in this office building in Butchertown, Louisville mayoral candidate Craig Greenberg and members of his campaign staff were shot at multiple times. On Wednesday, he says it's motivated his latest addition to his public safety plan to address record gun violence in the city.
Too often, these confiscated guns find their way back onto the streets, where they are used again to commit crimes.
Greenberg is proposing a new policy where he'd require Louisville police to disable confiscated guns before sending them over to Kentucky State Police. Current state law requires this change of hands, where KSP then auctions them off. Profits are used to fund equipment at agencies across the state. If elected, Greenberg says his admin would comply with Kentucky law, but under a strict condition.
We'll only return these guns to Frankfort after rendering them inoperative.
The specifics to how this would get done weren't discussed. Meanwhile, Republican candidate and current Jeffersontown Mayor Bill Deariff choosing not to respond directly to Greenberg's idea. Instead, in a statement citing Greenberg's lack of experience as an elected official. This comes a day after Deariff held a news conference of his own.
Just give us the findings that you're aware of.
Pushing for the Department of Justice to release its investigative report into LMPD and Metro government before the November election. He also called for Mayor Greg Fisher and Chief of Police Erica Shields to be transparent on updates they've received from the DOJ.
They have gone through crisis after crisis here, and nothing has changed.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office telling us they haven't seen the report or any findings. Also asked about the federal probe today, Greenberg said if a consent decree were the result, his admin would use it as a framework for reform. And as far as whether he'd retain Chief Shields or appoint someone new,
right now, I am rooting for Chief Shields' success.
Now, Deariff hasn't indicated his intentions for LMPD's top position either. He continues to say if elected, he'd bring over J-Town Police Chief Rick Sanders in some capacity, but as of being asked yesterday, he hasn't said what that role could be.